Welcome or welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today's video is going to be a review of On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. So the last video I did, or the last review video that I did, should have been The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. So this is the second book of hers. I just finished this book like an hour and a half ago. I spent 5 hours this morning reading because I wanted to get it done and I wanted to film this video so I could edit some other videos. And also I kind of just got really into it. I was going to stop at 12 and then I was like, nope, I'm almost done and I really want to see what happens. So I read for another hour. And here we are! So I'll jump right into my thoughts on the plot. I really love this plot. I love this book. And I know that I said that I love The Hate You Give as well, but I had a couple issues with it, mostly that it was pretty political, I felt like. This one was not quite so political. That was not necessarily the purpose of this book, I feel. It was definitely still talking about a teen's struggles, a black teen's struggles, but a lot of those struggles were things that I feel like just about anybody could relate to, because they weren't just about race, which there were some problems that she faced because she was black, but then there were a lot of problems that she faced just because she's a teenager, because she has a family and friends and other people in her life, and because people make assumptions. And let me tell you, people make assumptions about everybody. It honestly doesn't just have to do with the color of your skin, because I've been in situations before where I was judged based on my friends or based on one little thing that I did, based on, you know, just a small fraction of like who I am or of what somebody saw. And it really sucks. It does. So I could kind of relate with that as well. I'm like, yeah, people make assumptions. So I did feel like it was a lot more relatable, and when racism did come into it and a little bit more political stuff, I felt like I could stand behind it quite a bit more than I could The Hate You Give. So I really enjoyed this one. I guess overall I enjoyed it more than The Hate You Give, though I did like some of the characters better in The Hate You Give, but I'll get into that when I get into the characters. But anyway, overall 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really great. I loved the rap in the book because it's about a teen rapper. I really love that. I love rap, and so it was really cool to get to see inside her head as well. I already have a great respect for poets and anybody who can rhyme things and make them sound really good, because poetry is something that I struggle with. I've written a few poems that are okay, but most of them were just absolute trash and I will never show them to anyone. So I already really respect that, but then to be able to come up with rhymes like that on the spot, like immediately, that was really awesome. And it's especially cool because Angie Thomas was a teen rapper, so this is something that she is very familiar with, and so she can really give you an insight into Bree's head and how she thinks of things. Like, so many words, just randomly, you know, somebody will say a word and she's like, oh, and that rhymes with this and this. Or like a phrase, you know, so many words, so many syllables, and it rhymes with this. And I thought that was really cool because I don't think like that, but there are definitely people who do, and I think it is the coolest thing. So that was really awesome. All the raps were great. And of course, Angie Thomas did have more time to come up with them. You know, as the writer, she could take some amount of time, but maybe it did only take her a few seconds or a few minutes sometimes, like it takes Bree, because like I said, she's a teen rapper. This is something that she used to do and is used to. And I'm sure rhymes and stuff still come to her like all the time. I wouldn't think that's something that just kind of like dies off. But I don't know. I honestly don't. But I thought that was cool. I also definitely appreciated the romance in this one. Loved it. We had a great love triangle that I thought was really well done, because it wasn't just, you know, two people pining after one person and that person not really caring, or some crazy love triangle. I thought it was really well done and it seemed really realistic. So really did like that as well. I haven't really read a book with a good love triangle in a while. Like, I can't think of one. And I know that's a trope that a lot of people like, and I have a hard time thinking of ones that I've read. So this was really cool. And I definitely called the other romance. There was kind of like this mystery romance, and I was like, I bet you I know who it is. And yes, sure enough, when we found out, I was right. I felt good about that. But anyway, still, I did like the romance in the book. The Hate You Give didn't really have a ton of romance, so this was nice. So overall, I give the plot 5 out of 5 stars. Moving on to the characters. I liked the characters well enough. Bree could sometimes be pretty annoying, but she is a teenager. She's only 16. So I think she thinks and acts a lot like a teenager. Like, she makes assumptions, and she's pretty hot-headed, and she gets really annoyed with her mom for trying to protect her sometimes, and other people trying to protect her when she thinks she doesn't need protecting, or when she thinks they're being unfair. And I know several teenagers like this, and to be honest, I'm sure I was like this as a teenager. I think I still am sometimes. And it's hard not to be, so I thought that she was realistically written, even though she could be kind of annoying sometimes. You're like, all right, Brie, get over yourself, like, come on. But yeah, overall, I did like her. I honestly don't know if I liked her or Star better. I'm kind of comparing the characters in this book with the characters in The Hate U Give, because I liked a lot more of the adults in The Hate U Give. I like really fell in love with Star's parents, and I didn't so much fall in love with Brie's mom. Not because there's anything wrong with her, I don't know. I liked Big Mav a lot more than I did Jay, but I honestly, I don't exactly know why. I think he was just kind of like funny to me. So yeah, I didn't really fall in love with any of the adults in this one like I did in The Hate U Give. I mean, Trey, Brie's big brother, I did really like him, but he's only 22, so I think he can barely be called an adult. Same with her aunt. And again, her aunt, I really liked how she stood up for Brie and was always there for her, and she was always trying to do what's best for her, but she had her own issues as well. So again, didn't really like fall in love with her, but I did like her. Now, Brie's friends, I really, really liked, and there are a couple other like side characters kind of that I liked as well. So overall, I give the characters 4.5 out of 5 stars, I think. I tend to be pretty easy on things, so I want to give them 5 out of 5 stars, but I think I gotta bring it down just a little bit, because I don't know, I guess I didn't like them quite as much as I liked the characters in The Hate U Give for the most part. So 4.5 out of 5 stars, still really good. Oh, and a note about Brie and her friends. I thought that was really awesome because they are really great friends. They've been friends for a long time, but they still have fights sometimes and like don't talk to each other and get, you know, pretty upset with each other. But in the end, they worked things out, and when 2 of them were fighting, the other one was trying to like settle things between them. So it was really fun to see their friend dynamic. It was really nice to see that, and I thought it was well done. I'm not going to say much about the writing. I give it 4 out of 5 stars again because it was very much like the writing in The Hate U Give, which of course it is because it's written by the same author. So if you want to know what I thought about the writing, check that out in my review of The Hate U Give. Moving into the title tie-in. This was another great title tie-in. Yeah, I don't really want to give it away, but it made so much sense and was a perfect title for the book, I think. So 5 out of 5 on that, really great. Now for the content guide. This again is very similar to what I said in The Hate U Give. There's a lot of swearing, lots and lots of swearing. Some more adult content, though it's not like too graphic, it's just definitely more adult. And then also a lot of violence. But I do have a couple things to add on for On the Come Up. So this wasn't an issue for me, but I know that it might be for many of my viewers, so I wanted to mention it. There are a couple of gay characters in the book, and then there's also a lot of drug-related things, and there's references to one of the characters previously being a drug addict, and lots talking about their struggle. So if that's an issue for you, I don't know. Could be like triggering for some people. Yeah, lots of drug stuff, lots of drug-related things, and a previous addict and talk of like how that hurt people and how it hurt her, and yeah, that's the content guide. So here are my takeaway thoughts, and I'm going to try to keep this brief, but no promises. I think I'm just gonna read what I wrote here because that'll probably be faster than me trying to remember all of it and go through it. So I'm just gonna read what I wrote. Overall, I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, and it wasn't quite as much of a political statement as The Hate U Give, which is probably why I'd never heard of it until I saw the box set. Just saying. Probably the biggest issue I had with this one was when one of the members of a local gang there was a possibility he would get killed by someone close to Brie, and she was thinking about how he was going to be remembered as a husband and a father and basically a saint rather than the gang member who stole from her and threatened her. And that really rubbed me the wrong way because that is the exact opposite of what was complained about in The Hate U Give. Because the circumstances were different. When a gang member got murdered by a cop in The Hate U Give, wrongfully, I agree, but the murder would have been just as wrong in On the Come Up. But when that happened, Starr was all upset because the news was calling him a drug dealer and not a person. Because it was a cop killing, not a civilian killing, and it wasn't being done by somebody close to her. So I did take issue with that, because you can't have it both ways, okay? You can't decide in this situation you want the person to be remembered for what they did, not the fact that they're a person, and then in another situation say that what they did doesn't matter, they were a person. Just saying, you cannot have it both ways, okay? How about we do both? And I'm not saying that what somebody did in their past, or the fact that they may have been on drugs at the time, or selling drugs or whatever, I'm not saying that should justify a murder, them being killed unjustly, but you cannot have it both ways and say that in this situation you want somebody to be remembered just as a person. Because no, they did things, they chose to do things that have now put them in this situation, or may have harmed many, many other people. They did bad things, and we need to remember that as well, but we also need to remember that they were a person and they had families, and we should still be praying for those families. And no, we should not be supporting murder. But that just really, really bothered me, because it was the exact opposite of what happened in The Hate U Give. The only difference is that one was a cop killing and one was a potential murder by somebody close to Bree. I mean, I guess you could also say, well, On the Come Up, he had stolen from Bree and threatened her and whatever, and in The Hate U Give, the guy literally did nothing wrong. I kind of agree, except he didn't do anything wrong in that moment. But in The Hate U Give, he did still previously sell drugs. He was still part of a gang. This guy sold drugs, was part of a gang. He just did something to our main character, and we never saw the guy in The Hate U Give doing something bad. And I'm not saying they're on the same level, because the kid in The Hate U Give seemed like a really great kid, and he was doing those things for a different reason. But I still don't think you can have it both ways. Again, not trying to justify what happened in The Hate U Give and what does happen sometimes, but just pointing out that it was kind of almost hypocritical. So, I don't know, just something to think about, I guess. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so back to what I wrote. As I said, overall, I give it 5 out of 5 stars because the more political stuff was kept to a minimum, and when racism was brought up, it was more justifiable in my opinion. And I really don't like the way that I worded that. Not that, like, it was justifiable. I just felt like it was, I don't know, like more real almost. It wasn't just taken from what we see on the news and what the left and what the media blows up and promotes. It was stuff that you don't always hear about, but that makes it seem more like it happened because it's not something that's just being promoted and that's popular. Again, I could get backlash from this. I mean, maybe not, because my channel is very small, but those are my honest thoughts. I'm open to having my mind changed through polite and kind discussion in the comments. Let me know your thoughts if you've read it, but those are mine as of now. Just trying to be honest here, just trying to give my thoughts, and I don't know that I did that very well. I probably said things the wrong way. Hopefully I can edit out things that I honestly didn't mean, or that I said wrong. Yeah, overall, those are my thoughts. I did really, really love the book, and I agreed with just about everything in it. And yeah, I thought it was great, and I would recommend this one. If you're looking for a great book by a Black author, I definitely recommend On the Come Up. There's no fantasy or anything in it, which I really need to get into some fantasy books now, but it was a great book. Anyway, there's my review of On the Come Up. By the way, I actually am really loving the solid colors on these books. So The Hate U Give was white, and I love the clean look of the white because I don't think I've really ever seen a white book before. Like wow, it was striking. Especially I read it out in the sun, and that was just like very striking. But I really love the clean look of this one as well. And the solid look, I kind of want to spray the edges black so that it's black on black. And the other one is white on white. I'm not going to touch those. They would be great red maybe, but I don't want to touch them. And I have a feeling that Concrete Rose is going to be red. I'm not positive about that, but I have a very strong suspicion that it is, just based on the dust jacket for it. I would be very surprised if it was something other than red. So if that is the fact, then when I get that one, I'll paint the edges red. But I'm gonna wait to do anything with this one until I do get concrete rose so that I can see what the cover actually is. Because, I mean, if it's white or black, then I can't just make them all, I can't make the pages match the binding on all of them. So, I don't know, I'll have to find out. But anyway, I did want to also say that I just really like the solid colors on these. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you have anything to say, let me know down in the comments. Give this video a like if you liked it. Give it a dislike if you didn't like it, but let me know down in the comments. Please keep things kind. And if you want to have a discussion, I am all for that. Like I said, totally for a kind, polite discussion. If you're going to be swearing or just being rude and nasty, then I'm not going to respond and I'm going to try to remove your comments. So just keep that in mind. Please keep it nice. But I would love to have a discussion. I feel like that's something that we should be able to do and our generation is very, very bad at. Probably not just our generation, but it is true that our generation is very bad at having nice discussions. So I love discussions and I would love to have a discussion, but only if it is going to be polite and kind. Since I have made that clear, I will get on with the outro. I hope that you enjoyed the video and I would love to see you in the next one. Have a blessed day, everyone.